Hey there, beautiful people, and happy, wonderful Wednesday. I hope that today has brought you nothing but reasons to smile, and if it hasn't, by the time I'm done here today, you know how it goes. You will have either laughed at me or with me. I wanted to come on here really quickly today to, one, say thank you. There has been a beautiful level of support for things that have been going on in my life, and so I want to say thank you. Next, I want to say thank you for being here in this moment if you are here, because I believe that there are no coincidences or accidents. Wayne Dyer said it best when he said that he believed that coincidences were God's way of staying anonymous. Isn't that the truth? So I hope that you will be encouraged in that and know that you are protected and you are thought of in your life. So, I know many of you have seen this new posting for my program that is here. It's alive. It is present. Hi, David. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Some people are saying, so what is this program? What is this, three free sessions, that you kind of want to know what it is about. I wish that I could tell you it's something you've experienced before so that it's going to be easy to understand, but it's not. It's unique. And it is not some you can get rich, hey, spend 12 weeks or 12 lessons or 6 months with me and you're going to come out richer, or you're going to come out thinner, or you're going to come out this or that. Now, that may be the after effect of what happens once you're done, but I'm not here to promise you something. I am here to tell you that what I have been through has led me to this beautiful place. And you're going, some of you know my life story, some of you don't. So I came today to give you an example of how we don't understand the residue of some things that we go through in life kind of stick on us. And we don't see it because we're like professionals at just continuing on, right? We're professionals at going on and being a grown-up, and we never fully address these things. And so we function through life, halfway full. We function through life in only a partial fragment of who we really are. And we don't realize that until sometimes there's a wall that slams and we slide down. And somewhere in that sliding down, and we get all the way down, we're then greeted by all of our true fears and all of our true inabilities and all of our true limited thinking. And a lot of people see me now and they're like, dang, Amy, I don't know, you're happy, what is this? You must have an amazing life. You probably had a great childhood. You probably had all these things. Well, if you stuck with me long enough and you've known me long enough, you'll know that that is very far from the truth, that I have had a interesting hand that was dealt to me. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about something that may have happened to me a long time ago, but it stuck with me. So when I was 6, my mom passed away, and I know that a lot of you know that. And I didn't know right away because the person that had taken me didn't tell me till in my mind, it's 2 years later. I'm not really sure how much later it was, but it was quite a while later. And in between that time, I was beaten very bad. And I'm talking about beaten to a point to where I, had welts, beaten to my head was plumped on a porcelain sink. I had to eat ivory soap, and we're not talking about putting it in your mouth. We're talking about I actually had to swallow and ingest ivory soap, and I would throw up because the acidity, I guess, didn't really match your stomach or whatever it was. So I was like, really throwing up. So in there, I went on with life, right? I grew up. I just went on and handled whatever happened, and I put myself through college, and I did these things that, to an outsider, may say, well, she must not have lived a lot of, bad situations in her life. She seems confident. She's pulling through. She's, third in her class as a nurse. She's this and she's that. But on the inside, I was still not understanding that I had residual pain from some of those things. In fact, I was never, ever taught. And every system I had went to broke. It literally broke. Every system that was built to help me or save me or get me to a point of, I guess, establishment and faith and trust, it broke. It literally would break on me. So I went to the child psychologist, right, after this whole beating episode, and I ran away, and the state people caught me, and you go into this little girl's home, and then it's a whole process. It's horrible. So as I was in there with this child psychologist who was there to help me blend better with the family that's beating me, I remember her laying a piece of paper there in front of me, and she said, just draw out whatever you feel. Draw out whatever it is that you see. And so, and I know you guys have seen this in movies. I'm sure some people have seen this in movies where the child psychologist makes you draw the picture. And for those of you who are therapists, I don't know if you still do that kind of work or not, but so I drew out this picture. And in that picture, I drew some things that were kind of, I guess, negative that she picked up on about this woman who beat me as a hobby. And she asked me why I felt this way about this person. And so I told her, I was afraid to tell her at first, but she said, trust me. You can tell me anything that you want to tell me, and it's just going to stay between me and you. And so I did. I told her, I said, she beats me with things, and she hits my head against porcelain sinks, and she throws me around by my hair, and she makes me eat ivory soap, and she tells me that if I tell the other people that she's going to really hurt me, and so I don't tell nobody. Okay. She said, it's okay. You can trust me. Go sit outside, honey, and I'm going to call them in now, okay? So I was relieved. The fact that I could actually tell somebody about what was going on in my life was like, oh, I felt relieved as a kid. I remember going, wow, I had a safe space. I had somewhere that, somebody could, they were really there for me. They were an advocate for me. And I remember asking her, she was like, do you know where your mom is? And I said, hi, Mia. And I said, yeah, they keep telling me she's on vacation. Well, my mom was actually dead. So that was interesting. So anyway, I sit outside the room. They get called in, and I get home, and I'm still on this surge of, I feel good because I got to tell somebody how I felt, and I could trust them. And in that, the next day, I was brutally beat worse than I had ever been beat before. And everything that I had told, hi Gary, everything that I had told that woman who said to trust me, everything that I had told that woman who I felt for the first time was on my team, everything that I had told her, she told my enemy, or my opponent, is a better word. Now, I'm not here to say what made that woman beat me. Now, in my book, I do speak to her directly and tell her that I forgive her. And I have spoke to her in my adult life, and I did forgive her in person. And that was one of the most liberating things in the world. But I will tell you, as a little kid, I was scarred. And so you would think that I was done with it when the situation was done. Hi, Leonard. But that's not how it went. As much as I had on the surface forgiven that situation, and on the surface had mentally gotten over it, and on the surface had continued to survive, I was still holding on to mistrust. I was still holding on to that system that I thought had me fail me. I was still holding on to betrayal. I was still holding on to these things. And so you may go, wow, so you're saying that you're still upset over this? No. What I'm saying is I had to realize that even though I thought I was past being that 6-year-old and that 8-year-old, that those things still left a blazing trail in me that I learned how as an adult to bury. So as I engaged in all of these things, and you'll get to know me closer and closer, and you'll realize, wow, I had to endure, and I had to evolve, and I had to choose to, hi Freddie, I had to choose to want to grow. I had to choose to want to face me. I had to choose to say, this is a shitty part of you. And guess what? It's okay, because we're going to get it right. Instead of going, yeah, it happened when I was in the past. It doesn't exist in me anymore. It doesn't matter. No, there are things that you're habitually doing, whether it's not completing things, whether it's having a hard time communicating in a relationship, whether it's feeling like you're always giving your job more than you're getting in return, and you go home into this angry and unsettled position. Whether it's you feeling like, why do people tick me off all the time? Whether it's you feeling misunderstood all the time. The fact is, there's this part of you that you still haven't dealt with, or maybe even acknowledged or met within yourself. That's the difference between my program and maybe another person's program. I know a lot of people that offer a lot of great programs. So let me explain this to you. I know that there's someone else out there who on the outside has probably did okay with their life. Maybe even great. Maybe they got to a point to where they're like, I did real good. I was the highest successor in my family. I was the only one to go to college. I was the only one to have a good job. I was the only one to do all this. That's great. But I hate to wake you up to the point that there's some things that have probably attached to you that you may not understand. And they're going to look like, I'm seeing it again. They're going to look like, I've heard this before. They're going to look like, yeah, that type of thing ticks me off. They're going to look like, that's my trigger. They're going to look like those things. So my program isn't here to tell you you're going to be a millionaire when you're done because I know all the real estate secrets, or I know all the financial tricks. No, I have other people who can talk to you about that. That's not what I do. I come to you, and let me tell you, I asked somebody yesterday, I said, what has my one-on-one mentoring done for you? What has my program done for you on a one-to-one level? And this individual at this point had probably decided to retire his life a little bit, and he had lived on a constant schedule that he had just kept floating the same boat every day. And he said that he felt alive again, that he felt he had another chapter to him, that it wasn't just what he knew. And then I asked him, I said, okay, that's now, but what did it feel like when I first started speaking with you and opening you up? What did it feel like? And he said, it was laborious. And here's the thing with adults. We don't like things that force us to work because we learned how to get somebody to do it for us, or we've learned how to find a cheat code, or we've learned how to do whatever. And I will tell you that those shortcuts will leave you to a place where you still feel empty. And you can, cover it up tomorrow in the morning at work, but you still come back home to it. Or you can cover it up while you're out having fun, but then it's going to meet you back in the kitchen late at night when you're getting that ice water. You will continue to dance around the very things that you're afraid to face. Hi, Gilbert. Hi, Freddie. So here's my thing. My program isn't to guarantee you anything other than what you put into it. And the fact of you have faced something that you don't like about yourself. And I'm going to tell you why you don't like it. It's because it doesn't have to be there. It's because it's probably something that's been holding on to you from some other instance in your life. It's the lingering effect. It's the smudge on the window. So that's when I say, let me be your window washer. I mean that. It may be laborious at first, and you may have spots that I might show you. But by the time we're done, if you're honest with yourself, and that will be your number one challenge, is to be honest with yourself. If you're willing to say, you know what? I'm ready. I've tried everything else. I've tried this, I've tried that. And why is it a 6-month program? Why is my program 6 months? I'm going to tell you why. Have you ever met anybody that tried a diet? When were they done? 6 weeks, 4 weeks. They're done. They're like, okay, I'm done with this. And generally, if you're going to fail, you're going to fail within the first 30 to 60 days of trying something new. I don't want to let you go. I want to hold on to you because I know that if that true trust is there, and I know if that true vulnerability is there, then the best you has a chance to surface. But without you being there and present long enough to do the work, long enough to accept the challenge, to see your best self, then we together have a better chance. So God bless you. Happy, wonderful Wednesday. I hope that you've had a fabulous day. And I just want to come to you for a while, piece by piece, to help you understand why I'm so passionate about you, about helping you get to your best self. And I'm not for everybody. I'll tell you that right now. Because somebody goes, oh, I did self-help. Oh, I've learned how to grow. Oh, I've taken this class and that class. That's fine. But this class is about you. Very little to do with me. I'm just the facilitator to helping you get into your best self. So, yeah. And again, I'm not for everybody because not everybody wants to put in the work. I'm fine with that because if you're not willing to put in the work, it's not going to work. So God bless you. Have a fabulous evening. And if you maybe are curious, but you don't know if it's fit for you, inbox me and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Obviously, I can't tell you anything more than what I have to offer, but I'd like to be able to do that. So don't run from yourself and don't feel like you're being a child or a lot of times when we think, oh gosh, I'm going to go into something that's going to help me develop, you feel like that means that you're less than. And I'm telling you, you're not. That's the thing. I don't think that you should look at going to improve yourself as a belittling or a whatever thing. I need you to understand it's actually courageous. When you say I'm willing to look at myself and I'm willing to go, hey, I can be better and do better once I get better and see better. So we can only go as far and as deep as we know how to go. And sometimes it takes somebody to help us get there. We don't all get there by ourselves. You know, there's a lot of people who, thank you, Leonard. There's a lot of people who, even to this day, will say, you know, it was that man on the corner who took the time to tell me something every day when my head was down. He told me to pick my face up. And that brings me to when I was in the girls' home, and there was a janitor who could only speak Spanish. And I would cry all the time because I didn't know why I was in a girls' home. I was told all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know, my mom was dead, and yet she was supposed to be on vacation according to the people that had taken me. And I didn't know where my grandmother was, who was the only face I knew. I didn't know where my brother was. I didn't know where anybody was, and I would cry. And I would sit in that corner, and I would slide down the wall and cry. Where all the other kids were on movie day, you know, in these girls' home, you get these little cards, and if you're good, you get a little punch hole, and you get to watch the movie night with everybody else. And I remember I'd cry, and that janitor stuck with me. And as much as he didn't know English, he knew love. And he told me, "Don't cry, mija, it's okay." And he had enough English to say that, you know, and I wonder how many times did he have to practice that just to be able to translate that message of love for me. And that was a beautiful thing. So let me help you translate your best self to you. God bless you. Have a good night. And remember to tell yourself at least 2 times a day, I can. Oh, let's get the cup. I will. And I am so worth it. Thank you. God bless you. And I will talk to you soon.